because I'll just turn around and I don't want to keep going back and forth. It's just like, nah.
Yeah. So let me go to Spotify real quick. Play some of the music while in the background. It's so funny. I was jamming in the car, man. You know when you're pulling in the car and the beats going and you're like you really feeling it. Yeah.
And
Yo,
you don't want to get out.
yeah, it's
What are
so
you listening
good,
to?
man. I was listening to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nah, it sounds real good, man.
Thanks, man.
Real good. Let me go to my
Thanks.
video. All right, we live. We live videos. Why is it not doing what it should do? We streaming. Let me go to YouTube real quick. Everybody's seeing us chit chat right now. People don't realize we've been homies for a long time. This is my
Right,
man
right, right. Same here.
Matrix MatrixxSoundlab. Um, and I'm gonna get into everything in a minute. I just want to make sure all the background stuff is working right. Let's go here. Go to YouTube. View the channel. Yeah, we streaming because we up on Restream. So this is
Okay.
broadcasting on Twitch as well as it's going to broadcast on YouTube as well. Yep.
Oh, famous.
Yeah, let's see. YouTube as well. Yeah, I got one person watching.
Famous.
Good. I just want to make sure we had sound. All right, we're going to close that up. Get the chat going. All right, we there. Let me tell some people what's going on. It's a lot to the Streamlabs, man.
See, now I'm learning about that. The streaming world.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool.
I
Once you
know
get
it's a
really,
different animal when you gotta have the right
yeah,
equipment. The right
you do,
equipment. I'm like, yo.
you do. Once you get into it, man, it's on point. All right, so
Okay.
all right, so I'm gonna have to do, man, two things at once. All right, let me hear the sound one more time just to make sure. Once you get into it, man, it's on point. Make sure my mic is up.
Okay.
Testing one two one two. So I'm gonna have to do, man, two things at once. All right, let people know we going live. All right. So I'm gonna go and find mic is up.
Okay.
Testing one two one two. Music. Two things at once. Get that out of there. Let people know we going live. This is my first interview on and find mic is up on this platform. So we trying to get it
I'm
together.
glad to be a part of that. We'll make sure to make it good so
Yeah,
that your
definitely.
first interview won't be your
Glad to
last
be a
interview.
part of that.
We'll make sure to make it.
Definitely. All right, so I got that out of the way. No more echo. All right, so I want to put some. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Civil Days Music. This is one of the favorite times I want to say right here. This is my first time, not my first time interviewing this gentleman, but this is one of the one of my great friends. I got to say that. He's a great guy, great musician. He really puts himself out there, and I want to talk to him because I want to introduce him to my fan base, not my fan base, but my followers and my people. I'm not puffed up like that to say that, but I want y'all to get to know this guy. He's very talented. He has. I'm not going to tell you about his life, but I'm gonna let him tell it. I'm gonna ask a couple questions. He's gonna respond. We're gonna joke and laugh. We're gonna chop it up. I don't have no cognac like Shannon Sharp, but we're gonna but we're gonna chop it up and we're gonna have a good time here. And I hope you all are privy to it. What's up, Teddy Rocksteady? What's up, Teddy Rocksteady? Thank you for coming in. My man, this is my homeboy. Love this guy. Is MatrixxSoundlab. I know him as appropriately. You don't mind if I say your name. I don't want to say if you don't want it, but
Man, I don't care. Listen, it ain't like I'm famous.
this is my man Kevin Q, also known as Matrix Sound Lab. You know what I mean? So let's welcome him in. Yeah.
I can hear the claps.
Oh yeah, we got the audience right here. That's right. All right. So I want to start off like this. Can you take a couple of moments and just introduce everybody to who you are? Okay. You can talk about your musical journey. I'll also ask some questions into that, but just get right off the top. Just let people know who you are and what you bring to music.
As you alluded to, my name is Kev. Um, Back in the day, 80s, me and a few friends of mine, we, just started getting drum machines and running laps back and forth to Sam Ash. And none of us knew what we were doing, but it was a whole lot of fun trying to learn all these new pieces of rolling gear. And to make a long story short, I just never stopped. I never stopped. One by one, people would stop or they would get frustrated with trying to get on and stuff like that. And I've had, a few takes with that, running in musical circles, but things not panning out. But my love for the music, that was like nothing. I'm sorry if you can hear the dogs in the
Nah, you
background.
fine. You fine.
And, I had a little dog, got to make the most noise. And the big dog is always chill.
I
But
got a
anyway,
Yorkie. I understand. I got a
I
Yorkie.
just, here I am a couple of decades later, and I'm still cranking out music. The biggest difference now is I'm really doing it just to feed my soul, and which frees me to just be as creative as I want to be without really having to try to worry about trying to like seriously eat off it. Because I'm doing this for me because I had to think about why did I start? And we all started because it was just fun and interesting. And the things that we can do now at home, the things that you can do now on a phone
Mm-hmm.
are like beyond our imagination could even go back then. And your only limitation is your imagination and creativity. So I'm just having fun, not chasing nothing, but just purely just to feed my soul. And that changes everything, at least for me.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. I have to say that when we have conversations, and we've talked a lot about this music thing and music spaces, and I love like when I talk to you, you kind of always put me in perspective. We'll talk about our love for music and where we want to be and how we always wanted to be in hip hop, and not just hip hop, but hip hop, R&B, experimental house, things of that nature. We just wanted
Yes.
our chance for people to hear who we are. So I
Right.
love that you kind of, to me, when I get on the phone with you, it's kind of like a grounding, because you was like, I just got to do this for me. I'm not doing this for everybody else. I'm not worried about sales anymore. I'm not worried about getting out there and do certain things. I'm just doing it for me. What's up, Beats by Lonze? This is my interview with the homie. This is Kevin Q of excuse me, I'm about to say Music Sound Matrix Sound Lab. Matrix Sound Lab. So we just doing a quick interview, and so another question I want to ask is, how did you get your start in the music? I know you talked about getting rolling drum machines and things of that nature, but what really pulled you
What,
into?
let me tell you what really started. Um, Being at a teen club in Philly, it was a place in Philly when we was teenagers that we used to go to called After Midnight. And people would always come through there. A lot of times before they blew up. I mean, Public Enemy, before they got super big, Ultra Magnetic, Salt and Pepper. Um, and I mean, like, because we're in that same age group. But what really kicked it off is one time being there. And the DJ was playing some song. And I thought it was saying the wizard, the wizard, the wizard. And that I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And at that point I was already DJing in high school. So the next time I had went to get records, I had I already liked Mantronics. Well, that's an understatement. I got a whole Mantronics collage over there. But got the record. And as soon as I put it on, and I was like, this is that song from After Midnight. And I'm like, oh, he wasn't saying the wizard. He was saying, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? And then on the 12-inch, it had maybe 4 to 6 versions. And Mantronic had did them all. And when I heard that, I was like, this is what I need to be doing. I gotta start making beats. Cause I couldn't even think after I heard who is it. People was on Needle to the Groove, but who is it was the record that pushed me in a different direction.
Yo, yo,
And from there it was like, man, listen,
mm-hmm.
yeah, that was what started it, and I was already a DJ. So constantly listening to music, getting ready to do a house party. I think by my 11th grade year, I was like the resident DJ at this teen club in Jersey. So I was spinning every week. And as I'm listening to songs, I'm picking them apart, and it was just kind of happening like, dang, it would have been nice if she just sang that part a little bit longer. Another song would come on like, dang, I wish the drums would have came in sooner, right before they started, and eventually it was like, man, I gotta get a drum machine. I gotta get a keyboard. I gotta start doing what I want to hear in these songs. And and then you throw in who is it? And the as the DJ started to turn more and more into wedding receptions. And I was like, I like music. I love music too much to be doing this, to be being told, okay, when the bride does this, you play this. And then for this, play that. And, I was accustomed to reading the room and playing what would adjust the temperature in the room. And I went from one of the neighborhood DJs to one of the neighborhood beatmen. And I just never looked back.
I hear you, bro. I hear you, bro. So that's good. You see your influence of Curtis Mantronics. So many people, that was one of Timberland's favorite
I met
producers.
him a couple of weeks ago.
I saw that. I saw that.
Man, the greatest gift on the planet my daughter gave me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've been wanting to meet this dude since the Pony remix. And that was definitely over 20 years ago.
Yep.
Um, I need to find out who this dude is that sampled Godzilla and and use music from Buck Rogers and the interlude. I'm like, this cat is different.
Like who would think of used a
And
baby in a song?
if they wouldn't have started, if they hadn't they were rushing each person in metal, we were just starting to go down, man, trying to grab. And they were like, okay, we have to get ready for the next person. And in my head, I'm like, lady, they just fans. I'm studying this dude. We can talk. It ain't just me talking. We both talk.
Right.
Don't be cutting me short here. Like you don't know how long I've been wanting to do this. But yeah. When I
Yeah.
read when I read Timberland's book
Mm-hmm.
and then stuff he was saying about Mantronic, and then even some of the equipment he was using, techniques he was using, I was like, yo, I'm reading my whole teenage history in this book. You know, like I still have all my 4-track tapes. Every single one of
Definitely. Yeah. So you got Curtis Mantronics. You got Timbaland. Who were some other influences that influenced you as you were really getting into this music thing? I see my man Teddy Rock.
Teddy
He's
Riley.
he said
Te-
he said Tila Rock. Tila Rock was it from him?
Huh?
He said he
Oh,
liked Tila Rock. Tila Rock was
oh,
the
no,
one that
he's one
influenced
of
him.
my top MCs from back in the day.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, at least as far as the influence on me, it would be Mantronic, Timbaland, um, Teddy Riley, Pete Rock, and DJ Premier.
Mm.
Them five right there. That's
Yeah.
Voltron. That's Voltron.
Definitely. Definitely. Even
Because
I
each
heard
one of them
recently.
has something different, but those are my main. If I mean, the list is super long,
Hmm.
but
I,
since you're always hearing top five crazy,
I know all the time
they
we
will
hear about
be
somebody's
as
top
far as
five.
their influence on me. The main influences. The list is long. Cause like when I heard Ninth Wonder, he made reference to Dr. Dre as Thanos. I was like, yeah. I'm like,
Definitely.
yeah, he over everybody. But um those five have
Yeah.
had the most influence on me. All the electronic stuff I do. Oh
Hmm.
man, it's electronic all day. That's that influence. Making stuff clean, that's Teddy Riley.
Definitely.
Teddy Riley's music clean.
Yeah.
Um, Eating Primo. Oh my goodness, what? Like if you wanted like dirty, raw, real, boom bap, sample master, like come on now. And then Timberland is just different. He wasn't following nobody's rule. You know, he changed the game with the drums that he used. And the way, like early on, it was that doom, doom, doom. You wasn't hearing it. It was a few things he did.
Hmm.
It was like, yo, this dude is different. This
Definitely.
dude, different.
Teddy Riley changed the game, and then even when you look at some of the people that follow behind him, like Dark Child, like
Man,
it's so many
listen,
people that
what?
came behind him that he really
I mean, Jerk
influenced.
oh man, he's a monster.
Definitely, definitely. Um, with that, and having those influences, can you tell everybody what genres of music you were really interested in, and you kind of pattern your style after and enter? And I say that because I want people to see the multifaceted music that you make.
Okay. On my hat, in my logo, you will see a H2, a H, and an E. The H2 is for hip hop. The E is electronic, and the other H is house. And when I say electronic, I mean from from acid jazz to
Mm-hmm.
UK grind to just any form of electronic music. I'm with it all. I'm with it all. You get in my car and you riding shotgun. Ain't no telling what you gonna be listening to.
I happen to think that that's also influenced by the time in which we grew up and the music that we dealt with. We had
Yeah, that's
America's
big. That's
America's
big because it's different now. You know,
yeah.
when I was getting started, we listened to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, but we also listened to Kraftwerk, and we also listened to The Art of Noise, and we also listened to Rick James. So the musical range was wide,
Yeah.
and I was a DJ. So and I'm, a resident DJ at a teen club, so I'm spending it every week,
Yeah.
and it was, and constantly running laps to get new music,
Right.
and I never played it safe. If I had 12 inch to have multiple versions, I would never play the version that they played on the radio. I was like, their whole head's gonna pop off when they hear this. Because people don't
Definitely.
know this. Like I was prepping every week for that Friday night and that Saturday night because I knew what they was gonna get.
Definitely.
Like I took DJing serious.
So
And
you
even
did.
now, when I do my house mixing, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I got two jobs. One is to make you enjoy what you're listening to, but two is to educate you musically. So I'm gonna give you some of what you want, and I'm gonna give you some of what you don't realize you need.
Mm-hmm.
It's an important job, and music is serious business. I mean, we all come together when it comes to music. That's the thing that definitely brings people together. And so
So
I don't play with it.
I know music is that thing that has the ability to, as they say, calm the savage beast. Also, music has the ability to take you to a place you've never been before. Music can rile you up, and music can help you get to where you're going. You probably hear the same thing I hear sometimes when they say, "Man, your music would sound so good at a 6 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock mix driving home or something like that," because it's energetic. It makes you, what I'm saying, it makes the
Right,
ride better. You know what I mean?
right, right, right. And
So
like you said, take you up, put you in a place. Like you said, like you listen to DMX. Man, listen, you could run through a wall at some DMX.
yeah,
Like if I ever met Mary J. Blige, I don't want no autograph. I
yeah,
don't need no picture. All I want is a hug.
yeah,
Cause Mary done sang me through some stuff.
yeah. A
You
lot of
know,
people
um,
that My Life album.
man, listen, what? Man, I wore out that my life. I played that tape so much it should have turned into an instrument. Should have played the
Shoot,
lyrics off that mug.
I
Um,
hear you, bro.
and but that's what music does, because you'll hear a song. I mean, it could be a song that you haven't heard since you was a little kid, and you
Mm-hmm.
hear the first couple notes, and you were 8 year old running through the living room because that's what was
Definitely.
playing in the house. Like music just has that effect, and to be able to like contribute to that
Definitely.
is,
Definitely.
you know, not
It's
everyone
amazing.
takes it that serious, and I ain't all super serious, like, but I'm just like, yo, it's a form of creativity that lives with you. You can watch a movie, but you got to sit there to watch it, and then it's over. But the music is going to go with you wherever you're going.
Yeah.
You mowing the grass, you might have headphones.
Doggone
You
real.
driving, you got music playing.
Yep.
You doing homework, you might have on some lo-fi. The music is just it's wherever you are. You at the beach and you got a Bluetooth speaker. You got a lot of work to do around the house. Let me get this music going because I gotta wash all these dishes and we're putting up some drywall. So the music it's a constant, and it really goes with you wherever you go.
You're right, man. I want to tell everybody that's listening, this is the homie uh, Matrix Sound Lab. This is the homie Kevin Q. I brought him on. This is my series where I interview people I know, people that are doing things. They have projects. It's a lot of people I'm about to bring on, but I wanted to really reach out to my guy and really talk to people about and show and put him on display and introduce him to my audience because I mean, he has some dope music, yo. I was just listening to. He just came out with a album. I hate saying album sometimes. Now it sounds so dated. They call everything a mixtape now. It's
But it's
crazy.
called a project. It's a
Yeah, a
new
project,
project.
a project. So he it's called Throwing Down the Hammer. It's on all streaming platforms. I'll put some more links up as he's talking and things of that nature. I'm gonna play a couple of songs, or at least play a song. Yo, one thing I'm gonna tell you I really love, man, is you really did to fashion like what producers and beat makers love, because you get at the end of the song, you get like a new song, you get like a snippet. You know,
Yo, I was in my Pete Rock bag. So I get mad at this dude. I'm like, yo, how you just going? And then I was like, you know what? Yeah, yeah,
definitely,
I'm gonna do that.
definitely. Even when like I forgot the album that Pete Rock did. I think Heavy D heard one of the snippets, and he was like, "Yo, I need that for a song." And he was like, "I don't know, Hev, I don't know." But then I think he eventually he gave it to him. But let's
Okay.
listen to some of the tracks on Throwing Down the Hammer. I'm gonna play. You know, normally you start from the beginning, but I want to play Firestarter. I love that joint.
A couple people hit me with that one. I was like, yeah, because I never know what anyone's gonna like. And usually when people hit me when I drop something, what I like, different people like different joints. Okay. But it's been a few people that's been hitting me in reference to Five Star.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, because I don't, I find out in the responses that I get what people are feeling. So it's funny that you say that. Okay.
No, Firestar is dope. So I'm actually playing in the background now. I'm trying to see if I can hear it. Y'all, we new
Different
to this.
joints. It's been a few people that's been hitting me in reference to Five Star. And I'm like, oh, because I don't, I find out in the responses that I get what people are feeling. So it's funny that you say that. Okay.
Oh, it's playing. Firestar is dope. So I'm actually playing in the background now. I'm trying to see if I can hear it. Yo, it sounds dope when you is the backdrop talking over it.
Oh, Five Star. I'm like, oh, because I don't, I find out.
Yo, can you tell me what was kind of like the inspiration behind Firestarter?
So one thing I do is I'm always creating, always. Like I have hundreds of finished tracks in my phone that no one has ever heard other than me. And if I could just be watching a movie, oh, I know it will go with that. Or just, and I mean, the other thing is I'm always experimenting. So sometimes when I go back through the beats that I made, I'm like, what was I on when I made that? Yo, what was on? Because I'll just hear something like, I could be looking at an NFL commercial and they play something, I'll throw my phone up to the TV and record it and be like, all right, I need something to buy. Let me run downstairs right now. But I ain't gonna take long because the halftime gonna be over in 8 minutes. Let me see what I can get started. And then it's that process of me just riding and listening to it in the skeleton, like, in the skeleton form, it ain't done yet. And I'll just start to hear the different elements that go with it. Um, so I honestly couldn't even tell you, like, put it this way, if I make a real chill beat, the next one is guaranteed to not be. And if I make something mad hyper, then the next beat will be something grounded, you know. And if I do another grounded joint, then the next one, it's gonna be mid tempo to super hyper, like because I'm scatterbrained
Mm-hmm.
and I tap into that. I mean, if you go through my albums, you'll be like, yo, they don't even sound like they was all produced by the same dude. Cause I'm
Right.
all over the place with it. Like, and I listen to so much music. all the time and many different genres. Like I'm not the hip hop dude that listens to hip hop all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are days when I'm on it. I'm listening to salsa beat, and then the next week I'm all electronic, and then the next week, it'll be real smooth work. Sade type stuff, and there are weeks where I'm just listening to the groove on Sirius XM, and all they're playing is like 70s soul music. But when I sit down and start to create, I am not in control of where
I hear
I'm
you.
just in go mode
I hear
and
you.
creating, and what comes out comes out.
Right.
And there are times when I really don't understand. I'll play something back. How I can't believe that I made that.
Right.
Like that's crazy.
Right.
I would hear that. I could hear that in a Toyota commercial, and I can't believe I made that.
Definitely.
And it's because I'm the guy I have no musical training. I can't sit down at a piano and play because I didn't have the patience for practice. Um, I just do it. Feels good, and all the beats that I make them so that when I go to the gym, I have more stuff to listen to, and I just keep cranking them out, and because I get bored quick, when it comes to music creation, I definitely have ADD. I'm super scattered. I mean,
Let
when
me.
I have one album that's all house, and then I have another album that's all lo-fi,
Right.
and then I have the album that's like 50-50 hip hop and electronic music. I just keep bugging.
Hey, it's like that, especially when you got a love, man. Like I was saying before, going back to like when we grew up, when you listen to the radio, you would hear Hall and Oates, you would hear Genesis, you would hear hip hop, you would hear Aretha Franklin, you would hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we got older, you would hear. I mean, and you know how our households were. You would hear reggae, you would hear calypso, you would hear, R&B, country, all kinds of music. So we had all kinds of influences coming up. You know what I mean? And you definitely can hear that influence in your music. Not only that, you can hear the Philly vibe, the Virginia vibe, the Jersey vibe. We definitely can feel it, hear it, and feel your influences in your music. I want to let everybody know once again, this is my guy MatrixxSoundlab, my homie Kevin Q. We'll talk
Yeah,
about some other.
you made me think of something when you said that. Because there are certain songs that I hear, like, we also grew up in a time where you went to arcade and skating
Mm,
rinks.
yeah,
And there are certain songs that I hear that I associate. I was like, oh, I'd always hear that at the arcade.
yeah,
And it was a totally different genre of music, back when hair was big.
yeah,
Um, and then, there's this one skating rink we used to go to, and then there were songs that I would always hear at the skating rink, different genre altogether. And that was a time period where music was shared. And when I say that, I mean today everyone has earbuds,
mm-hmm.
you know. But then before that existed, you had a box. I mean, you got Bluetooth now, but then music was just shared, if you will. Like you wouldn't have four people in a room with four different sets of headphones on,
Yeah,
listening to four different things. Whatever was being played, it was being played in the room, and everyone in there was enjoying it. I mean, even when I was in elementary school, like the music class, something the teacher might be playing something, everybody in the room,
yeah,
was listening,
definitely.
and now it's just, it's different. It's like it's hard for. I don't think that music is enjoy the same way that it
No.
was when we were younger. One, there's like 10 million zillion artists now.
Yeah.
So you don't have enough sets of ears to really take it all in.
I think
And then
music.
the other thing is because music is no longer exchanged physically,
Right.
it's all digital. I mean, I can reach right over here and, and just grab a rack of CDs, and I got hundreds of them right here. And
Yeah.
then a million albums over there. And then right there, I got a slew of tapes and mini discs. So, and that. And to have that type of music today, I was talking to a dude at a cell phone store, and he was like, "Well, I'm not a collector." And I was like, "So that's what y'all call people that have a lot of music? A collector?" Years ago, that person that had a whole lot of music was just your friend because you had a whole lot of music too. And it's just now it's just different. It's different. And I mean, I think it's unfortunate because you can't you can't take it all in simply because of the volume of music. Um, and then it's not, you don't really, there's so much music, you can't really sit with it
Oh.
because there's so much. One of my boys said to me, he was like, the problem is there's too much music and it's too accessible.
Yeah.
I could be in a store, hear something I like, Shazam it, find out what it is, and purchase it right there where where I just heard it a moment ago.
Hmm.
And so there's not even like a buildup and an anticipation, waiting for you to get to a record store and then leaving with that excitement because you about to put it in your tape deck, your CD player, or you can't wait to get home and listen to it. Like that whole buildup of the music, even when
Hmm.
people would drop a video, and when you seen a video, you knew that the album was coming in the next 2, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so there was anticipation. Did you see the new video? So y'all can't wait for that album now. And it's just, it's different. It's different.
It
I
really
wish that we
is.
could get at least, things will never stay the same. That's
Right.
how we progress. But I wish that some of that would return.
Definitely. I think coming from like maybe like a business mind, I think a lot of stuff that we deal with in this current climate is like it alludes to that remember when Will I Am said music was at first was never meant to be sold, that music had to always accompany a project. Like if a movie was being made, then the music came with it. If you really purchase something, you purchase the sheet music, or when you really went down to it, you went to an event and you experienced music. So I think
Mhm.
the experience is gone because you no longer have
Oh,
that
yeah.
that package that you were looking for anymore. You know what I mean? You would have when Michael Jackson was coming out with a project, you knew that you was going to get a bunch of videos. You knew that a tour was coming.
You're right.
You knew
You're
that
right.
posters and all kinds of things
Man,
were
listen,
coming out of it.
they even stopped television for Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
All the channels. No, we showing his new video, black or white. Like,
Yep.
it's just what? Television, like, you don't stop television. They stopped television for Michael
It
because it
did.
was an event.
Yep.
And the centerpiece of it was the music.
Definitely. Let me give a shout out to people that are in the comment section. Shout out to DJ Rec. Shout out to Teddy Rock Steady. Shout out to Beats by
Thought you was
Lingerie.
about to say Teddy Riley. You just see my glasses break.
Shout out to Ghetto Style. Shout out to everybody that came in. This is the homie Matrix Sound Lab. I know him, as Kevin Q. Um,
Don't
he
make me put your name. Stop playing.
he has come out with a new album. He has multiple um, songs and multiple genres in which he creates and produces music for. I'm gonna give him a moment at some point to tell him where you can find a lot of his stuff, but it's all on streaming platforms. He's on Mixcloud, he's on Spotify, he's on Apple
I don't
Music.
mix cloud anymore.
You're not on Mixcloud
I
anymore?
pulled everything off there.
Oh man,
Everything.
dang! I thought you were still up. When I went and looked, I don't know if it's still there, but in the research, it pulled Mixcloud back up. But I remember when I used to go and listen to your house
Right.
mixes.
Now, because some of the songs that I have just need to go on a project. I need to
Yeah.
really, finish it and start chipping away at it. And then I was just like, all right, let me add a little mystery to me. Make myself a little less accessible with all the content and start just really trying to like really curate what goes
I hear you. I hear you.
out.
Let me pause for a second and let them hear some of your tracks, so they can see what you got going on. So I'm gonna play I'm gonna play this joint right here. I was in the car. Where is it at? Not beatbox rules. Oh, neck breaker. I'm gonna play neck breaker. I was backing up
Mm.
into the garage when that came on.
And see, of course, I can't hear the music on this side.
Yeah, you might have to go to the YouTube.
And seeing I don't want to flip around and do all that. It's like, right now, we got the show going smooth, so we're going to keep it that way. You know what's crazy? Netflix, I was just, again, always experimenting. And then it just hit a point. I was like, you doing hard. Because sometimes when I'm working on stuff and I post something on Instagram, I was like, ain't nobody gonna hear this until the project is complete. So yeah, that was my Saturday.
So definitely, everybody, check him out on Spotify, on Apple Music, all streaming platforms. You can check out and this is his new project. It's
Title,
called
title,
Throwing.
Amazon Music Unlimited, Pandora, just wherever you streaming,
Yep,
I'm there.
definitely. It's throwing down the hammer. Throwing down the hammer. Yo, bro, we can definitely hear your influences. We can hear the Timberland, but more importantly, we hear you. We hear you, your style. And I do. I gotta say this, and people say this about me, and I'm gonna say this about you as well. I definitely could see your music in sync. I could see like that right there. Neckbreaker is like an intro to a movie. You can either see
Thanks,
the,
man.
the
Wow,
kids
thanks.
the kids walking down the hall as the music is playing. Something's about to jump off. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you definitely can hear it in the music, and you can definitely tell that you're passionate about what you do.
And some of the ones that I do, that like I have in mind what could be happening
Mm-hmm.
while this is playing. Like if I'm playing Gran Turismo, it's a racing drive simulator, and I'm like some of the tracks, I'm like, yo, this is the hardest track. But if I had this song playing, maybe I could get the third or fourth turn of that. you know. So like I have that in mind, with some stuff. And just I mean, when we had I don't remember, were you in the chop shop when we had that group Facebook?
Yeah, I was in the chop shop with y'all.
So definitely everything that I made for the chop shop, um, I always had a visual in mind when I was making something. And oftentimes when someone asks, yo, like, you think about this? Like, yo, that right there, that sound like something to be playing where Iverson would be hitting somebody like right there where that snare hit. That's where the other person's ankles got broke right there. They be like, man, you wild, you wild the way you think. I'm like, yo. that's what I saw when I heard it. And so like that's what I have in mind a lot of times when I'm creating what would accompany this. If it was a movie
What
scene
would
or a series or
accompany this?
something, just and we had one challenge like that. Um, a dude from France
Mm-hmm.
named Wade, he had he had ripped uh the highway scene from Transformers 2. And it was like, all right, make music to go with this.
Definitely. If
That
y'all
was
don't,
some hard work.
so a lot
But
of
what I ended up making as a result, because it stretched me creatively. And I was like, yo, that was so much fun. Because things that happen on film don't happen in beats and bars. You got to match what's happening on screen. So if someone falls or something breaks or someone runs or something comes to a sudden stop, the music has to change at that. You got to conform to the visual. And as
mm-hmm.
hard as that was, it was so much fun because it was like it was so different, but it was fun. And like I said, I never stopped doing the music because one, it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% therapeutic. No matter where I'm at in life, no matter what's going on, good or bad, um, especially bad. Like the
Mm-hmm.
music is the thing that's there. You know, my machines and toys over here. They're like, don't worry, come here, just hug us. We got you.
Definitely.
We'll take care of you for the next few hours. The music is always there.
Definitely.
Um,
Yo, the chop shop was good days. You know what I mean?
man,
Especially
listen,
we got a chance to grow. We got a chance to learn how to advance our music and things of that nature. Shout out to the chop shop, man. Also,
man, I remember the day we started that mug.
yeah, I remember. I remember.
me and Jazz was on the phone, and
Yeah.
cause he had took the sample challenge part from him, and he was like, he wanted to make a separate page. And while we was on the phone, I was making the original artwork. And by the time we got off the phone, we was sending out invites to people to come join this group.
Yeah.
And but it's cool because there's so many people that I'm still cool with,
Yeah.
that
Definitely.
I even get up with sometimes
Yep. Rest in
from the
peace to
chop shop
Jazz.
because we didn't realize what we had at the time. And I would always encourage people every week to like, yo, do all of the challenges because it's short. This ain't about beating everybody else in the group. This is just about honing your skill. You're upping your chop game. You're increasing the size of your library. You start developing uh, habits and routines to make you more efficient when you're creating. You know, if
Yep.
some big artist says, listen, this is what I need you to do. It's your one opportunity. I'm giving you 2 days to turn this around. So
Mm-hmm.
just doing that, do it to better you in your craft. Don't worry about everybody else's because then your
Definitely.
focus is in the wrong place. This is solo work.
Definitely.
Solo work.
So, so we've talked about what inspired you. We've talked about the individuals that inspired you. We've talked a little bit about your background in music, you being a DJ, things of that nature. We've talked about what you like to pour into your music. We've also gotten a little bit into like social media groups, Facebook and things of that nature. Yo, you've been getting a lot of in the chat. You've been getting a lot of props on your shirt and the hat,
Oh,
the
thanks.
machine shirt and the hat.
Well, I had
Shell,
to I had to make that because I was like, yo, how come they don't have anything that exists
yeah,
with like, and there was nothing. And I was like, man, I went through so many iterations of this design before I finally, because I was like, I wanted to be something that would look dope on a hat or
yeah.
on a t-shirt. And I got like mad versions. Um,
I
but
seen
then
a
I
couple of
finally
them.
got it where it was cool and it was simple enough. And I was like, okay, this is it, and I got it and stuff.
You
And
still got that?
sometimes I'll throw the watermark in a video
Yeah.
with uh, my logo on one side and then the extreme machinist logo on the other side. And my logo will never change because it's right there. So it ain't going nowhere.
Yo, the
When I flip it around and it's like this, oh, that's permanent because it's going to be around longer than me. I'm being a casket with this. So, hey, but it's in here anyway. And I could run into somebody I haven't seen in decades. Yo, what's up, Kev? And the first thing out their mouth is, yo, you still working on your music all the time? Like, all the time. If I seen somebody I ain't seen since high school, that's the first question they ask me. Yo, you still working on your music all the time? Because every time you see me, I was either getting ready to work on something, just got finished working on something, or you came over and I'm in the middle, me and my Roland 505 and my Casio sample.
I hear you, bro.
Man, you
I
couldn't
hear
tell
you.
me nothing. I thought I was Mantronic.
Yeah. See, now that's what I want to get into right there. I want people to know. Take us on a journey of the musical equipment that you've used throughout your lifespan of creating hip hop and
Ooh,
house and things of that
ooh.
nature.
Well, my first drum machine, if that's what you want to call it, was Sensonic drums. That was made by Mattel. My Mattel. I mean, look,
Oh my man, you
you want
got
to go
it.
old school. Mattel made these, and you see, I got them in my lab.
I remember those.
Basketball and football. You don't want none, but but they made it like they had. I'd have to go on YouTube and find a commercial for it, and you would just be like making beats on the fly. And when I'd be doing parties and stuff, like DJing a party, sometimes hip hop was still new then. So I know a bunch of cats that could freestyle. I'd be doing beats on the Sensonics, and they'd be passing the mic around, spitting live, and then we get back to whatever he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me see. My first real drum machine was a Roland 505. Um, then I don't remember what I got after that because it was so long ago. And me and a couple of my boys, we all had like, one of my boys, he had two Korg drums. I think one was Korg drums, the other one was Korg percussion. Then I had another dude, he had a Yamaha RX-5. And I was like, yo, I wish I could go back in time because eventually I did get one. And I loved that thing. I liked the way it looked. It looked like the future. Um, so I had one of them. Then I had some Roland sample, or was it Boss? Because they were some of the big companies then, Roland and Boss. Um, Yamaha too. Yamaha had a couple machines. They had a drum machine that I wanted, but it's called the Human Composer. Is what it was called. It was out of my price range. I ain't had much money. But what it did was, on the Human Composer, all of your drums on there, I think, were a little loose. Like even if you had something set to 16th, it made sure that it wasn't perfect because that's not how people play. Um, what other I had? Boy, but I can't remember the name of that sampler. And it had like maybe 40 something seconds of sampling time. Oh my goodness, you couldn't tell. With that much time, you couldn't tell me nothing. Um,
I couldn't help it. I was going to joke. I was going to say that you had the Zoom.
oh, I remember that.
You had the Zoom.
I didn't have one, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yo, what what's some so basically, because
I had an Alesis
I remember them.
HR-16.
I
It
remember
was a
them.
gray rectangular, and it didn't look like a drum machine. It looked like a calculator,
Mm-hmm.
like a big calculator with a flip up lid. It was weird looking, but I
Yeah.
loved it because I could stack my hi hats, and it would give it this like a phasing kind of sound. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like, yo, they was different.
Yeah.
And that one had 40 something sounds on it. So keep in mind that when I had that Roland 505, that only had, I think, 14 sounds.
Yo, but
So
check
I
but
had
check this out.
40 something sounds,
But check this
and I
out for a
could
second.
change the pitch on something. Like,
Yep. But look at how people complain today, and they be having like 1 terabyte of
man,
sounds, and
man,
they complaining over 4 gigabytes. So when we only had
bro,
like a megabyte was something we thought we were doing it up.
man, you couldn't tell me. Like I said, I had a whole sample with 40 something seconds worth
Mm-hmm.
of sound. And I thought this thing came straight down from heaven because that amount of sample time was unheard of, you know. So, and then you do something to even take more advantage of it, where you sample it real fast so it
Mm-hmm.
don't take up that much of the time, and
Yeah,
then you play it. You pitch it way down so you can work it. Um,
like they did the SP12.
right. I
Yep.
mean, like, and that was like in that era,
Mm-hmm.
you the creativity that you had to, and ingenuity that you had to come with on your own was a requirement because we all stretched our equipment farther than it could go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm farther than the manufacturers even thought, like, wait a minute, these kids, we didn't design our piece of gear to do this. And two, we would have never thought to even do this to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And
We gotta be
now
we
you
gotta
don't.
be straight
Now
up.
it's like it's too easy.
That
It's
equipment
too
wasn't
easy.
made.
There's no reason today in
Yeah.
2024 for there to be music that's anything other than incredible because what was being done then was so little. Now, if you can think it, you can do it
Mm-hmm.
because you just like. And the thing is, not only can you do it, you can do it at home with a laptop or a tablet. Like it's amazing what can be done today
It's
in
true.
seconds, like
It's absolutely
where
true.
it takes no processing power and time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that there should be nothing that is whack today because every piece of hardware and software is good. It's
Right.
just a matter of how. There are chronic complainers, you know, um,
That's
and
what
they
we're
just
dealing with
that's just
today.
what they do. No matter what a piece of equipment does,
They
they're
got
gonna
something to say.
find the 10 things wrong,
They
and they're
definitely
gonna
got something to
focus
say.
on that instead of focusing on making music.
Yeah. Since you said that, and you said that about music, this is Matrix Sound Lab. This is the homie Kevin Q. He just came out with a album, a mixtape, a project, if you will. It's on all streaming platforms, and we're gonna listen to another track. We're gonna listen to Grand Entry. This is number 2 on the track. So give me a second.
I'm gonna tell you something about that track when you get finished.
All right. All right. So this is Grand Entry. We're gonna play this joint right now.
It's funny. What's funny is where I made that song.
right, everybody. That was Grand Entry by MatrixxSoundlab. And this is his project, Throwing Down the Hammer. Please make sure you go check it out on all streaming platforms. So, um, one thing,
They can check out the other
yo,
projects too. Don't stop there. There's plenty.
yo, he got a lot of projects, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Man,
He he
listen, if you listen to Don't Hit
he
Play,
he
track
releases
two.
pretty
Track two.
pretty constantly. You know what I mean? Always, if it's not a mixtape, it's a project. Can you tell some of the people all the projects that you have done, even though they're gonna, if they go out to Spotify and the different streaming platforms, they'll see it. But you said you had a story. Before we get into that, you said you had a story about songs. What's up, DMG? Let me give a shout out to the people in the chat real quick. Shout
Yeah,
out Khalif Wins. Shout out Blatantly from the Blatantly Blatant Network. Shout out to DMG. Shout out to let's go back up for a moment. Teddy Rocksteady. I think he had to leave though. At Beats by Lonze. And everybody that came on so far. We got 8 people watching so far. More people are going to see this later as well. But you said you had a story about the song.
Well, Grand Entry. Yo, I did that completely on Machine Plus, nothing else. Like, and I did that last August when we were on a cruise. And this boat, I don't remember which cruise ship we was on, but this thing was huge. And this one area where they had shows, they had like an upper level where you could sit and watch, like a mid level where you could sit and watch. And then they had the lower level. But the lower level was called the Grand something. And because I'm a super early bird, and it was like a coffee and pastry thing right across from me, I'll be down there 5 o'clock in the morning, me and Machine Plus in my headphone and coffee, making beats. And that one, I started it the one day, and I was like, yo, this joint sounded kind of tight. And then the next morning, I'm down there again. And I'm like, I will be down there until other people on the boat started waking up. And then they see me over tapping these pads, and then they want to see what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm over here working. Just my coffee all messing me up. But that ended up being Grand Entry.
Yo, that's dope, man. That's dope.
And
Yo,
all I
Dennis,
did was bring it home and export it and run it through Ozone on the back end.
y'all hear that, right? The Machine Plus and Ozone. He had it on a cruise. And he had it with him. All right. Somebody's asking
Oh, I don't
already,
leave.
how did you plug it
Listen,
up?
I don't
It's
go
like, how
nowhere
did you?
without this. This
He said he
coming
don't
with
go anywhere without. They said, how did you plug it up on the
nah.
cruise? Tell him what you had in order to power that bad boy.
Because the thing is, like, I started using machines when the MK1 came out.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I started out before that, I was doing everything on Cakewalk. And I was doing my drums and back.
Mm-hmm.
I had a boy, still my man Dre. And I got this thing called Machine, and he just couldn't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, something wrong with my computer. And this and that. It was just like, I was like, let me start watching tutorials on this thing. I don't even know what it is, but I'm gonna learn because he gonna get frustrated. And he gonna be like, I'm gonna just sell it. And probably 2 weeks later, he said, man, I think I might just sell this thing. Let me be a good friend and take it off your hands. You don't even have to go through it. How much you want for it? And I just, it changed the way, because I was working in a linear environment.
Right.
I was working in Cakewalk Sonar.
Mm-hmm.
So then to go back to like patterns and clips, it was like working on a drum machine again,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to working on like a ribbon, like any other traditional dog where you're working left to right. So once my brain was able to make that switch, and I started messing with it. And just over time,
Mm-hmm.
as it kept evolving and kept getting updates, every time it came with an update, it was like, oh, they needed to learn one more thing or learn these two things. So I was growing with it the whole time. And and I mean, if I am working in a dog, I'm working in Bitwig Studio. Because when I was ready to make the switch from Cakewalk, uh, I was reaching out to all types of people online that I liked. And some were like bigger artists. I just hit me the DM. I'm thinking about switching dogs. And the winner was able to lie. But I was like, yo, that costs too much because this is an experiment. And what if I don't like it?
Right.
And Bitwig was like super cheap when it first came out. Plus, it
It
was still
was.
buggy. But the original engineers on it were all former
They were
Ableton people.
right. You're right.
So I
From
can get
Ableton people.
the advantage of kind of working on Ableton Light in the full version. I don't even think it was $200 at that point. So I was like, that's a worthy experiment. And now I've been on Bitwig for about 10 years or close to it. Um, the machine longer than that because it was no reason for me to switch
Right.
Bitwig and dog. I mean, machine and a dog, because I'm working with it solo or I might be working in the dog solo or I'm loading machine in as a plugin for certain things because I can operate on a piece of equipment in front of me and and not have to look up or look away, move a mouse,
Now my question:
just
Does
that.
does bit it has its own like mastering, mixing, mastering suite, right?
Oh, mixing, but not mastering.
Mixing,
Not
not
mastering.
mastering. Okay, okay. So what do you do like to kind of like? So you mix everything in Bitwig.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not the stuff that I do in machine. I'm solely in machine with that.
So
But
with
no
the
matter what, whatever comes out the back end,
mhm.
uh, it's going through ozone.
Okay. So that
Isotope ozone. Everything is going through ozone.
so the last this
Now,
album.
everything now, yeah.
Okay. All right. So even if an idea starts in Bitwig, it goes to Ozone. Or if it starts in Machine.
It's ultimately going to like whatever I export out,
Mhm.
and then I'll drop that wave into ozone. And I
Mhm.
don't get all crazy with ozone. I'll start with they have so many presets and they even have it broken down by genre.
Mhm.
Now I'll be like, all right, this one, this one, this one. And then, it all has to ultimately, this part will never change. It still has to pass the car test.
Just
And,
like Jermaine Dupri, he said, "Take it out to the car.
you
Take
got
it out
to.
to the car."
You
We
got
gotta.
to. You got to. Like, how can you not? It's
Mhm.
got to pass the car test. And, it was like once, like I've had, like my car now, I've had it just over a year. So it was like I had to relearn the
Mhm.
way that this car sounds.
Right.
Um, and then once I did that, and once I started getting good with isotope, uh, I'm sorry, isotope is becoming isotope ozone.
Mhm.
Once I started getting good and comfortable with ozone, I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And then everything that I run through it, I say that in case it fails the car test, I can
Right.
reload where I left off and make any tweaks then. But man, I wish it existed years ago. I want to go back and go and do every song I ever did and put them in ozone, but I don't have time like that because I got a job. And I'm like, yo, stuff comes out of there. Like I'm getting low end frequencies that I never had before. It's all because of ozone, and I'm not picking the genres that would, of course they have
Yo, these
hip
guys
hop
in the chat,
and they
man.
have R&B and they have this and they have that. I'm like, no, I'm going through until I hear what I like as far as how it sounds.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
they're usually not in the genre that that you know And then you can get in, like I said, like using it now, I've gotten comfortable to where I can go in there and start with a template and then start making tweaks. But the tweaks are never really great. It's just enough.
Right.
Because I don't want to go tweak
Now,
crazy and do too much
can I
and
tell you
take it
this?
away from the feel to make
Right.
it technically correct. Get all that.
Can I tell you
Remember, I'm,
this?
I'm trying to feed this.
I can tell you from listening to the album, I think it doesn't, you can listen to some songs and it just sounds overly produced. No, I think this is I was riding in the car. It's a nice smooth ride. You get hyped up when you listen to certain songs, and it takes you on a journey. I really like this album. This is my homeboy Kevin Q, MatrixxSoundlab. He's released his latest album, his latest project, whatever you want to call it. It's on all streaming platforms. It is called Throwing Down the Hammer. And this is a artist spotlight where we just wanted to take some time on our page because it's been a lot of talk lately. Let me just talk for a minute. It's been a lot of
Uh-oh,
talk about
uh-oh,
beat
uh-oh.
makers and producers and tutorial people who don't make albums. So I said, let me bring some people on the
Yo, that's a good
page
point.
that make
That's a good
albums.
point.
They say it's people, oh, you're just a beat maker and you don't make no albums. So I said, well, let me get the homies on and show people that make albums, that make music. And Kevin Q makes music. But I got a question for you. I want I got another question to get back into, like the Machine Plus and things of that nature. But right now, I want to ask this question because me and I know something. You could talk about it if you want to, but I believe it's some of the inspiration behind the project. And I want to say, what challenges did you face during this production process?
Well, I can tell you one thing, and it'll tie into a lot of what you said. I do beats all the time, but for real, I look at all those are practice for
Mm-hmm.
album. Um, because just doing one random beat here, even if it's so many beats a week, it stands on its own. And 2, 3 minutes later, the but if I'm putting together something that I'm gonna present to the world, then it's like, oh, okay. So one, I gotta figure out what direction I want to go in this project. And then I gotta find the tracks that like this is good, but this wouldn't work with these other 4 or 5. Um, this song is okay, but if I sneak it in here, like it'll help with the storytelling of an entire project. So it's finding the right music. And even, in some cases, some things are brand new, made for a particular project. But a lot of times it starts out with me going through the million tracks that I got. But then when I listen to them, I take them from just being a beat to like, all right, this one, I gotta hash this one out. I gotta make sure it's got some change ups in it,
Mm-hmm.
um, some transitions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this here, oh no, I'm gonna make this part go down to half speed just for a moment and then bring it back. Because at that point it's a presentation like this is going to be on a streaming service
Yeah,
available to the globe. So the approach is different. And
definitely.
it's track order, it's direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's you got to put yourself in the place of the person that's listening
That's right.
and what you want them to feel. Where you're just doing beats, you don't have to consider like the flow of this track after this one, after this one, after this one. Like like I did 2 albums back. I did an album called Off the Grid. It's a lo-fi album. After a couple people I was talking to while I was working on it. It was like, what's lo-fi? What's that? I realized I was like, all right, I can't go full on lo because I'm being asked, what's that? So what I'll do is I'll just do a project. It'll be some lo-fi. The whole project will be dipped in lo-fi heavily.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be some regular joints to keep interest because I want to give you a little bit of what you want so that I got you enough so that you'll want whatever I have to give. And then in between, the interludes and the funny stuff and different things I had in between the tracks, it doesn't play like a typical album
Right.
at all. You know, it because a friend of mine, I was telling you, he interviewed me. And then what I did was I cut out pieces of that. And some of those pieces are in between tracks. And there were was other stuff in between the tracks. Cause I'm like, it's not like I got a deal, some record deal. So I don't really have to follow none of them rules, which means I can just be 100% creative. And you listen to that project, you will hear that creativity from start to finish. And there's times in between where you're just gonna be cracking up. You know, it'll be a couple of joints in there. I don't care what types of software and algorithms you use. You're not gonna know what I put. I could let the artist who made a song hear something. They ain't gonna know they had nothing to do with it. Because the way I mangled some of this stuff, it's all a challenge and it's a creative challenge. And with that project
Mm-hmm.
in particular, I just made sure to go left with it, And I mean, with the different projects that I did, like I did one, um, it's the whole album is house because I've always dabbled in house. And I was like, I want to do an album that's just all, I wonder what it would sound like if I did a whole album that was house. And so that's what I did. But, you know, one of the tracks is more dance oriented. One of the two of the joints on there is like soulful house. One of them is like jacking house. And it was just like, okay. Because I'm like, it can't all be the same. Then I did one album that I call Cutting Through the Noise. And on that one, I had my mom do the intro. I wrote out what I wanted her to say. And she was just like, what is this? What is it? What is a type beat? Well, you better not be having me out here saying no crazy stuff. And I did that for two reasons. One, how often would you hear something like that?
Right.
And then two, I wanted to capture her on something because my mom wasn't young. She did.
Right.
And I'm glad I did that because she's not here with us anymore.
That was a dope track too.
And but the album Cut Through the Noise, the reason I did it is hearing too much music that sounded the same and it was getting on my nerve. I'm like, we have too many things at our disposal today for people to be recycling beats and styles and vibes. And so I'm like, all right, I gotta punch right through all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I just, and one of the things I had her say on the intro is, I let you blast music all these years, and you better not be up there making no tight beats. You better be making something that cuts through the noise. Now she didn't know what I was talking about when I wrote that out, but by the time we was getting close to the end, she was in character fully telling me, "Don't be making no music to sound like this." And
Definitely.
that's how that came out. The album I referenced earlier, Don't Hit Play. I got caution tape over my equipment. I'm warning you. If you hit play on this project, don't say I didn't warn you. Because if you running late for work and you sitting in the parking lot at your job and the wrong song playing, you gonna really be late because you ain't getting out the car until it's over. So, like, man, listen, I told you I take this serious
Mm-hmm.
and I love it. It's so much fun. So I try to go in as often as I can. as hard as I can. It's
Definitely,
music,
man.
man. And if I know
Definitely.
you're gonna be riding around
Yeah,
listening to something I made, I'm gonna make it worth your while.
that's right. They gonna do what it do. Let me kind of switch gears right now. There's a lot of talk about gear and things of that nature, and I'm not trying to get into like gear wars and stuff like that, because we're about the music. Honestly, we're
Hmm.
about the music because we're about the experience that, you know, music has meant so much to us. So
Hmm.
it's like we cherish it. We understand that this is a gift from God. We
Right.
cherish this music. Uh, Music provides a service to other people. So, kind of
Man, listen.
tell us why, um, tell us why you like using. Um, so with this album, you said you use a combination of Bitwig as well as the Machine Plus. Tell us, what do you like about the Machine Plus, and what inspiration does it help you to create projects?
Well, for starters, Machine is on every album. Um, it works the way that I work. Like it works the way that I work.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm making drum patterns, I'm only altering just the drum track.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm same thing when I'm doing the bass pattern. And then, they introduce clips anywhere where I want to introduce some sort of a change or something. I only want it to happen once.
Mm-hmm.
And that's some random moment. I could just slip it in there, and because machine, like it's one thing, like with the machine arguments, they're all producer arguments. They're not listener arguments. Because the listener doesn't care. They don't know what an NPC is, they don't know what a machine is, and they don't care what it is anyway. All they want is when they hit play, they want to move. And that's our job, you know. Um, no matter what the hardware is and the software is,
Yeah,
it's people out there killing it on all of it,
you're right.
you know. I know cats that's murdering reason, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Uh, I know cats that's killing it. Like it just, regardless of what it is, it's whatever you're most comfortable with. I don't have time for them goofy arguments. I'm too busy making music. Y'all
Yeah.
go ahead and fight. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this kick right. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all keep arguing, In this corner is NPC, and in this corner is machine, and in this y'all shut up and make some music. Stop worrying about what everybody else using. Because
We we
they're
gonna clip that
producer
up.
arguments. They are producer arguments.
There are
The
producer
only
arguments.
reason that I couldn't use an NPC is because I couldn't adjust to the workflow.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't work on the channels individually. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was the only reason. Now when I had I forget what drum machine it was, but it was like the patterns included like four, it was like one channel of drums. And then I could include three separate instruments. And I think that drum machine was by Lee. It was a later release, I think. But if I wanted to change something in one of those other tracks, I would have to, have to copy that pattern or whatever the terminology was to a new pattern. And then I would change whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
on the bass or the trumpets or whatever it was. With machine, everything is, and you just, to word it as simple as possible, is then you can just start moving the puzzle pieces around and
Right.
seeing what works with what on the fly.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when they came with Machine Jam, and I got that, bruh, the first song I did with it was called Angelica. And it
Mm-hmm.
was the first track on, I had to pull up my albums because now I get them all confused. It ended up being the first track on the album. That was the first thing I did on uh, Machine Jam because, and I'll tell a person to admit, like with that, if you just do random beats, don't get a jam. Well, you can't get one now anyway because
Right.
they stopped making it. So if you come across one, grab it. Um, but the song arrangement on there, just like if you're on machine and you're in chord mode and you have 16 different sets of chords at your disposal immediately, without going, jumping up an octave or down an octave. With the machine jam, you got 64 pads in front of you. So that 16 just became 64.
Wow.
And depending on what mode you got the jam in, like you can strum on there. Like, man, like the touch strips, they took all that from the jam and incorporated it into later machine. The
Right.
jam came with that. And when they stopped making it, I was like, all right, I'm cool. I got mine.
I'll be honest. I wanted a jam real bad. I wanted a jam, and I
And and I remapped it. I also use it when I'm doing DJ sets on Tractor.
mm-hmm.
So it's an additional controller for that because I half broke my brain because it was not an easy process. But I went to YouTube University and figured it out. So,
I know.
but I use, machine just works. So I my my work brain is, I mean, the way that I work is scatterbrain,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that I can just jump around and get some random idea. And I only want it to happen here. And then at this point, I want it to happen here, but like this.
Right.
With machine, I had the freedom to really go nuts. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see anything else outside of a traditional dog that I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I can just pitch up and down any sound,
Okay.
and because you load plugins on pads, you know, um, any type of plugin on any pad, the way that you can route signals, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I can route the these two snares and this kick to this group on this pad because on this pad, this is where I have this plugin in. And Hollywood these, like you can really go nuts. And I'm a little crazy anyway, so it works. It works
Yeah.
how I work, you know. I don't start getting methodical until it all starts to come together. But in the beginning, oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
freestyle crazy. And I'm able to do that.
I
And
hear
I
you.
need that.
Definitely. So getting back to the album, um, and let me say this first. That I think Native was really innovative at one point. You know, they had the studio, they had the jam, they had the shoot the MK3. You know, they came out with another product.
I want to show you something. I want to
I
show
wasn't
you
too
something.
fond of.
You seen the artwork, right?
Uh huh. I see you, man, laying
One of
down
no,
the
one of
hammer.
my coworkers
Uh huh.
had 3D printed Thor's hammer. And I was like, yo. I said, yo, when I do my next album, I'm gonna use that as the artwork. And he was like, okay, even though I knew he didn't believe
Yeah,
me. And the artwork is apps on my phone and this bad boy right here.
I hear you. I want to say one thing about your music. Yeah, I think you have a great ability to blend multiple genres into your work and in your songs,
Thank you. Thank you.
and maintain a balance between, you know, giving the listener something that is good to hear or that is very entertaining. What do you want the listeners to get from this project?
And it really is when I use the example of having a lot of work to do around the house. Like one of the promo vids I did, I was like, how you gonna get all them dishes done and all that sweeping and mopping done without the right soundtrack? I got you. Like, you need stuff that's gonna move you when you got a lot of stuff to do. And I'm like, yeah, just throw this on. Trust me,
Yeah,
you gonna get it all done too fast.
that's right.
And because that was the direction that it took. And I know whenever I have some things to do, number one on the agenda is, all right, it's gonna be a while. I
That's
gotta
right.
pull up the right music.
That's right.
Or, when I'm at the gym, like I need something that's gonna get me hype, you
Mm-hmm.
know, so that I could work too hard and be like, oh, I was thinking my shoulder hurt now. It's that daggone with music, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, like that. Just providing a soundtrack for a good drive. When you flirting with driving a little too fast, you're like, officer, I was listening to that MatrixxSoundlab album. It's not my fault. And he gonna be like, no, I get it because I was doing the same thing. So
I
like,
hear you.
turn that music or listen to that album when you get home. Don't listen to it while you drive because it's making you drive crazy.
So let
So
so let me introduce something to everybody. I'm a um Kevin Q can't really see it, but I'm gonna actually show everybody his website once again. His music, his albums, and everything is on MatrixxSoundlab um, .com. And what I'll be doing is I'll be making sure that there's a link in the description. This
and let
is
me tell you, the I made sure that the mobile version was tight too. So
mhm.
no matter what page you're on, all the links are up there for all my socials. And everything is Matrix Sound Lab everywhere.
The merch is
Instagram,
nice
Matrix
too.
Sound Lab. Facebook, Matrix Sound Lab. I don't have a Twitter because I couldn't wrap my head around. But like everything is Matrix Sound Lab. And it's so you don't have to think about it, and even when you're on my website, like if there's an album that you're listening to and you click on get song or get album, when you click on it, the next screen is going to open up and it's going to ask you where you want to get. It'll be like Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
Deezer, Tidal, Apple Music, Amazon Music Unlimited. So it'll take you to my music, whatever you're listening to, but it'll take you to that song or that album on the streaming service of your choice. So that's why I always point people to the website. If they want to keep out my mix cloud, the DJ mixes that I got up there, you can get it all from my website. It'll take you wherever you want to go. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry,
No,
but
no, that's
I just
cool.
wanted
I
to
think
make
that's dope
that
because
clear.
that speaks to I think the current state of affairs that we're dealing with, taking control of your music. Just like when you said that you took things down from Mix Cloud and you wanted to give it, you know, you wanted to have more control of it as well. Because it seems like here that when I go to the More tab, you can see the house mixes, the podcast interviews. You even got YouTube videos and things of that nature. So it's good that you're taking control of your
This will
music.
be on there. There'll be
Definitely,
a link to this.
definitely. So everybody, I wanna can we give Matrix Sound Lab a round of applause? My homie Kevin
Thank
Q.
you. Thank you.
Let's give him
Thank
a round of
you.
applause. We got
Thanks,
people
man.
people in the chat. They're trying to make me laugh.
Thanks,
They're trying to make me laugh. My homeboy Khalif Wins is in the chat trying to make me laugh. They said drop that hammer. And then he said, "Let's go. Now we getting real." He said, Khalif Wynn said, "You know, the video's getting interesting when he's showing his hammer."
why I said
Pause.
I just wanted to freestyle because it's just. Because we cool like that. Because we cool like that. And I mean, one, we cool like that. And the other thing is, we talking about music. We talking about music and creativity. We don't need to prep for that. That's where we live.
That's right, man. Yo,
That's where we live.
you doing it, bro. I'm so happy for you. Can I tell the audience something, or do you want to keep that under wraps?
What?
What you experienced, what you went through.
Ooh, ooh. Nah, you know what?
Because I
We can
think,
we can talk about it. We can talk about it.
because I think really.
Because that conversation has to be normalized. We can
So,
talk about it.
so that's a so I. One thing I want to show you, he just came out with a project, but he really went through a severe challenge. He went through a
And it's
big
still
situation.
ongoing. Yo, it's
Definitely
still
is.
ongoing.
Definitely a situation. Like,
Listen, ask me anything. Talk to me. Come on.
all right. Can you tell people what happened to you the later part of last year that kind of affected your health and
Okay.
things that you had
All
going
right.
on?
So I had a series of different symptoms over the course of last year. Um, I go to the store, I come out and have no idea where I park. Clueless. Um, and I'm thinking, "Dang, I'm getting that old, I'm forgetting where I'm parking." So I'm just writing it off and not thinking it's a big deal. Then, I could be teaching a class or something or be with a group of people. And then I smell something like, yo, y'all smell that? And they think because I be acting crazy that I'm just acting, me being me. And it's like, they think I'm messing with them. I think they're messing with me. And, it was different little things. Um, by the end of the year, I was getting no less than 2 headaches, severe headaches daily. I was starting my day with Tylenol and then another one midday. Otherwise, it wasn't happening. Uh, I end up in the ER on New Year's Day, did an MRI. And when he threw the MRI images on the screen, it was like, what's that? That's in my head. I was walking around with a tumor on the right side of my head. Uh, Never knew it was there, but it made a lot of things make sense. And I didn't go into specifics about everything, but like, oh, that's why it is. Oh, that's why that. Oh, that's why it is. Because it was a tumor, so it's growing and then it's pressing up against parts of the brain. Um, and there are changes that go on in you. So even when I was smelling stuff that no one else was smelling, my brain was producing those smells.
Mm.
I remember being on the phone with my mom, and I'm saying, well, Jazz, she downstairs cooking something. I don't know what she's making, but sure it smells good. I go downstairs, she in the living room watching TV. Ain't nothing on in the kitchen but the light.
Mm.
And, stuff like that.
Mm.
Um, so anyway, on January 1st was discovered I had a tumor. And on January 5th was when the doctor was inside my skull, removing the stain. Um, it was later found to be cancerous. I actually, tomorrow is when I start my last round of chemo.
Mm.
This last round starts this week. Um, Now, hopefully, I'll be ringing the bell, and that'll be like, like I was responding crazy well to all the different treatments between the treatments I was getting, um, which was chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and then um, herbal supplements that my wife had and still has me on to complement the treatments that I was receiving at the time. So, um, but it's still, like there are things that go along with that because you really start looking at your entire life and you start looking at your legacy
Right.
and what you're leaving behind
Mm-hmm.
if you are going. The effect that you have on people, um, how you're perceived by like it'll make you really, if your life isn't in order, it will make you really do an exam on who you are and how you live. And fortunately, um, I, I mean a lot for a lot of people, more than I can count. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so many people praying for me across the country, I couldn't even keep track with them.
Yeah.
And I had to start making a list of people to get back. There was so many people reaching out, but like, there's still like, it's not over,
That's right.
because still behind it all, I'm still always wondering, like, because it was cancer
Mm-hmm.
and it's a type, um, they can come back after a few years.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I'm out the woods, I'm not all the way out the woods,
Right.
but I can't stop because that's not an option. I got work to do,
That's right,
bigger
bro.
than music. I got life work to do. I got
There you
lives to
go.
affect.
That's
You
right.
know, look, I got kids and grandkids, and
That's
I'm
right.
all up on them like this.
Yeah.
Um,
People to
all
teach.
of them. So I got work to do. It's that simple, and I'm gonna do it.
I was getting ready to say people to touch, and I said pause, and I was gonna say you got people to help, you got people to love, you got people. Yo, I want to tell you, bro. I was when you called me and you told me what was going on, I immediately went into prayer, and I just want to tell you that I'm thankful that you're still in the land of the living, that
Bro,
you're a blessing
to
to
be
me.
on this side of the dirt, man, listen, man, like, yeah,
Yeah, and I'm
you
gonna
don't want
tell
to
you,
know. The amount of time that I spend
yeah,
talking with the Lord, and I don't mean asking for stuff,
right,
just talking with the Lord. Like I bounce everything on crazy stuff, like not crazy stuff, but I mean regular things that you would just ask a friend.
mm-hmm.
I'll be laying in bed awake, just talking to the Lord, like he sitting next to the bed in the chair. And then the next day, I'll wake up and he gave me instruction. Yo, I'm so glad it's gonna
That's
work
right.
out. I really had a foolproof plan, and he came out like well with this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, that would have went completely sideways
Yes.
if I dealt with this in this way or responded to that in that way or got back to this person and said this as opposed to how he instructed me to, that. And then like the amount of tears that I've shed, I was in the next year's tears months ago
Mm-hmm.
because just being overwhelmed in so many different ways,
And I,
and it's that would be a whole separate interview. Just
yep.
talking about everything associated with this. Um,
And shouts out to your
'Cause
wife too, man.
it's a lot, huh?
Shouts out to your wife. You know what I mean
Man, listen,
for being so
she the real
supportive
MVP.
in
Okay,
that
she the
situation.
real MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, um, she is the in-house physician because I would have had medicine all messed up, appointments missed, um, going with me to my doctor appointments and asking questions that don't cross my mind.
Right.
Um, I mean, sometimes, man, when she would be at the doctor with me, I felt like I was her son. Talking way up here. I'm like, I don't even know what
Yeah.
they're talking about. And so, like I'm a morning person and she's a night person. She just turned into a mad scientist.
Mm-hmm.
And the research and like I said, herbal supplements to supplement. the treatments that I was receiving at different periods. And I know that in prayer is why I'm doing so well today.
Say it
You
again.
know,
Say it
uh,
again.
my wife and prayer is
Hallelujah.
why
We about to
I'm
have
doing
church
so
up
well.
in this place. Don't get me started now.
Because I'm just like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the right people around you. I mean, and I mean, like with her, so much so, like more than a few times,
Mm-hmm.
I've said to her that I'm sorry that you have to be with me and I'm not just 100% healthy because if I'm not doing well, she's well,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and like where you got to be sometime wife, sometime counselor,
Right.
sometime therapist,
Mm-hmm.
part-time pharmacist, you know, lifeguard, because I can dig myself into a deep emotional hole. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when she's like, all right, let me go in here and go save my husband because he's
That's
swimming
right.
down too fast
Yeah.
and come talk me off the bridge. Yeah, she the real MVP, man. Like,
Yeah. See, that's
mm,
why I want to
mm, mm.
say that. That's why I want to say. First of all, let me first say I'm thankful to God that you're still here, and I'm gonna say this because men don't say it enough. I love you, bro. I love you.
Listen, man, I
You know
love
what I
you
mean?
too. I don't hold back on them no more.
Ain't
I
nothing
don't
wrong
hold
with
back
that.
on them no more.
That's right.
Listen, and we in a podcast interview. I can
That's
tell
right.
you
Hey,
straight up. That's why
hey,
we hit it off from the gate.
and we still real
Not
men.
just
Rah.
kindred spirits. You my
You
man,
know.
yo. When I
That's
say I
right.
love you, I don't play with them 3 words.
I don't either. I don't play with the word friend, and I definitely don't
That
play with the
neither.
word love. I don't
That's
play with the
why I don't
you're
say love you. I'm
yeah,
like, no, that's dismissive.
yeah.
I love you.
That's
That's
right.
personal.
So
It is. That's what it is.
so that's why I think this project is even more um important because it's like a showing I'm here. This is my stamp in the ground. This is my project. This is my work. I'm showing people that even through this adversity, even through the situation, even through the stuff that's going on, I'm still getting this work done. I'm still moving around.
I said it was 100% therapeutic.
That yes, you did. Yes, you did.
It is.
So that's why I understand
It's
the
for me.
concept.
I'm feeding my soul down here, man.
That's right.
I'm feeding my soul in this basement. You know, the internet allows me to share with y'all, but I'm gonna be doing it regardless.
Yeah,
If the internet goes away, I'm gonna still be right here, tapping the pad, like nothing
definitely.
happened.
Definitely. I wish more people was here to see this, especially this part right here, and because I think it brings more light to why we do the things that we do. Our music is not just byproducts. Our music is something that we give from our heart to give to others.
Hmm.
It's like a chef that cooks with love
Right.
and they serve with love. And when you taste the food, you can say, mm,
You
and
can
you
taste what
automatically
put in
know
it.
you can taste what they put in it. So
Hmm.
I think that's the coup de grace right there. Everybody, welcome, and this is my homie. I wanted to introduce everybody to my guy, Kevin Q, MatrixxSoundlab. He has an album and multiple projects. Let me show you one more time. Let's go to his website and take a look at his website. This is his website where you can access his music. I'll make sure I leave a link in the description. It is www.matrixsoundlab.com, and Matrix has 2 X's in it. You can kind of, even from his name, you can see the Mantronics influence.
Yo, I got a story for that.
Well, go ahead and tell everybody.
Yo, when I was DJing in high school, uh, Matter of fact, the dude that I got the rolling 505 from, this dude named Tracy Cobb, he was like, Kev, you gotta put two X's in your name. I was like, what are you talking about? He said, man, everybody know how much you like, man. You love Mantronics, and everybody know it. And they gonna say you biting. I was like, I can't do it. It looks stupid. And at the time, I was just DJ Matrix. He was like, you gotta put another X in. Cause they gonna say you biting. Every time, it was like anytime I DJ the party, oh, you was gonna get some Mantronics. You was gonna get Mantronics out. You was getting Mantronics and you was getting some Just Ice. But you was getting some Mantronics.
Yeah.
And I hated the fact that he was right. But he was right. Cause I was like, yo, everybody knew. Everybody knew. And I added the other X on the end. It still would look dumb. So over time, went through a couple names since then. But then I came back home. And now it's MatrixxSoundlab. Two X's, all one word.
Dope. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna play a track in the background.
First skipped message. Dad, well, I just had an epiphany.
Car audio.
I was at the grocery store today, and this
Car alarm?
going off like a
Car alarm. I'm sorry.
car alarm
I
bell.
don't know why I was thinking.
And all I could think is, I know my dad.
But that's what we talking about.
So I'm gonna need you to listen to this car alarm that I'm gonna send you, and I'm gonna need you to hook that thing up. You hear me? Tell him, say, Papa, hook that thing up. Want to say, Papa, hook that thing up? Yeah. They drop that beat. End of message. Delete. Press 7. Save. Press 9.
That's your mom on that one, right?
No, that was my daughter.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, which song?
Car alarm.
Oh, that's my daughter.
That was your daughter. I remember.
Yeah, that's my daughter. Now on the album, Cutting Through the Noise. That's my mom's intro. Huh? I used my daughter on another track too. And she played the role of being my mom. I had a song, I got a house track called Burnt Toast. And so I was just, you know how you leave toast in the oven too long to get the burnt part off? And I was like, all right, this is what I need you to do. Like, so I had already recorded myself scraping the burnt off the toast. So I was like, I need you to tell me, so this is what she did. I was like, hey, Mom. So my daughter was like, what? Huh? Or whatever she said. I said, I left this toast in the toaster oven too long. Can I just throw it away and get some more? She said, boy, I don't be buying no toaster. You better throw it in the trash. You better scrape the burnt off that toast. But she did it with such authority that you would have definitely thought she was my You'd have definitely thought she was my mom. And she nailed it in one take. And what I did, the reason I called the track Burnt Toast is because I was like, and the whole thing was based on me scraping an actual piece of toast and thinking, yo, I can do something with this. Like on the album that I told you don't hit play, I have a song on there called Toast the Oven on Steroids. Because you know how it goes, and then you get the ding noise at the end.
Right.
I got something in the toaster oven for my older grands. And I'm saying to my granddaughter, I think I could do something with this. And she was like, do something with what? I said, I think I'll make something out of these sounds coming from the toaster oven. She was like, whatever. I was like, all right. And the next thing you know, it became Toaster Oven on Steroids. You play that joint. Oh, yeah. You want to be in the car. You want to be in the car when you play that song.
I hear you, man.
Even some of the drums are supplemented with Transformers stomping. Oh, the sound is big. Big.
We get influences from a lot of different places.
Man.
I remember I made a beat from when you turn on the PlayStation, it used to say
Yeah.
the first PlayStation, or was it PlayStation 2?
Okay.
I think it was the first play, and I took that and I turned that into a beat. But yeah, but we're gonna wrap up right here, everybody. We want to thank y'all for coming out and spending some time
Yeah.
with us.
Thank you, and
And
thank
this
you
is
for having me.
no
This is
problem,
cool,
man.
man. This
Yeah,
is dope. This is dope.
this is gonna be the first of many. The
Hold on,
first
hold
of
on, hold on.
many.
Hold on. I'm showing my age. Yo, this was lit.
Definitely. So thank you for coming out once again. Thank everybody that watched. I
Thank
truly
you, man.
appreciate y'all. Please hit the likes up. I don't see any likes. Maybe I need to refresh my
And
screen. Make
thank you for all y'all in the audience. Like I can't see any of that.
yeah,
But I'll definitely be looking back at this,
yeah,
and
definitely.
there'll be a link to it on my
Yeah,
website for
everybody hit the
sure.
likes. Hit the likes. Drive it up. We got to drive the YouTube algorithm up. And thank y'all once again for taking time to check out. What's up, Michael? What's up, Ghetto Styles? Let me shout out everybody. Ghetto Styles. We got Michael in here. We got Blatantly, my man Khalif, Beats by Lonze. We got DMG who came in. We have a number of individuals who came in as well. Let me go back up to
That's
the
what's up.
top just a touch.
Yo, yo,
Teddy
good
Rocksteady,
looking out, man.
DJ Rex. It was a lot of people came. They showed out, and we thank y'all for coming in. Everybody, y'all have a great one. See you later. Peace.
All right, bro. I get up.